Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great. So it's been a long while since I uploaded a video on YouTube. And the thing is that my masters has been keeping me really busy. But now my first semester is finally over and I have some time on my hands before my second semester begins. So I thought this is the perfect time to come here and update you guys about what all I've been reading. And I also thought, because whatever I've read in the past few months is all the texts that have been a part of my first semester syllabus, so this would be like an interesting insight for those of you who are interested in knowing what an MA English student is reading. Now honestly, I'm not sharing the whole wide syllabus with you because it's huge, it's vast, and it includes everything from novels to plays and essays and poetry, which includes different forms of poetry, sonnets and whatnot. So I'm not sure if all of you are interested in knowing all of that, but yeah, novels is something like a lot of people read, so that is why what I'm sharing with you is the novels I've read as a part of my first semester syllabus. And to be very honest, the novels that I myself was able to completely read, because honestly, as I said, the syllabus is huge, and you it was just impossible to read each and everything. But I tried reading as much as I could. So the novels that I did read, that's what I'm going to share with you. So if you're interested in knowing that, then keep on watching. And if you want me to share like everything that has been a part of my syllabus, then I'll be happy to do that. So let me know that in the comment section below. So the first one that I want to discuss with you is The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. Now this is one book I really don't know what to say about, because I'm not going to pretend I did not fully understand the text. And I'm very sure that there are other people out there who read the text and feel the same way about it. So I think I need a couple more readings of the text to understand. But essentially, what I got from it, what the author is trying to say, is that our existence as human beings is full of paradoxes and dualities and contrary or contrasting experiences that that are not exclusive, and one cannot exist like without the other. And he kind of challenges and forces us to think about our basic understanding of concepts like lightness and heaviness, or other dualities like the body and the soul. So it's an interesting read, definitely, but then a little difficult and too philosophical sometimes. So I think I need to read it a couple more times to get a good understanding of what he's actually trying to say. Then we have a classic, which is Utopia by Thomas More. So in this book, this was written in 1516, so long back, and Thomas More is talking about a fictional island called Utopia, which is apparently the perfect commonwealth, or actually like the only commonwealth which deserves to be called that. And then we have a discussion about the kind of laws and customs and traditions of Utopia, and how they are much better than contemporary Europe. By contemporary, I mean More's contemporary Europe. So even though it was written way back, I'd say that it's still, you'll still relate with it, because it will still force you to think about your own society, your own laws, your own customs and traditions, and all those sorts of things. But in the same breath, let me also add that he doesn't present Utopia as perfect, because we also have within the text itself a discussion about the limitation of about the limitations of the kind of society that Utopia is. So see, if I talk about just my general experience reading the book, after a certain point it gets a little boring. But if you're someone who likes to think about politics and society and those sorts of things, then this is for you. I don't think I need to say anything about the next book, because the author's name is enough to recommend it to you, which is Persuasion by Jane Austen. So Jane Austen is one of my favorite authors, and this, just like her other books, is great as well. This was one of her last books, and it was actually published after her death. And as you know, it's widely said that this has one of her most profound and most mature heroines, which is Anne Elliot. So the book is a great discussion on how England was changing when this was written. Changing in what sense? That ranks and social hierarchies didn't matter anymore, and your worth depended upon your own abilities and, you know, productivity rather than your birth or your ancestry. And another thing that it kind of covers is the heroine's growth from a young woman who was, you know, persuaded to not marry the man she loved because, you know, he was of a rank that didn't match hers, to finally, when she grows older, you know, becomes self-confident, self-assured, and can take her own decisions. So all in all, it's a great book, and it's also much shorter than other novels of Austen. So if you're just beginning to read Austen, even though this was her last book, this could be a great first book for you. Another novel is by Rohinton Mistry. This is called Family Matters, and this was honestly a pretty interesting and very very easy to read book. So at the center of it we have Nariman Vakil. He's an 80-year-old or 80 something man, and he has Parkinson's disease. So when the novel begins, he's already very very sick, and then he breaks an ankle, and he's now completely bedridden and completely dependent on his stepchildren. So the novel is set in Mumbai, especially after the Babri Mosque riots. So it has a lot to do with contemporary Bombay politics as well of those days, of course, and a lot of explicit political mentions are there in the book. But other than that, it also covers like the personal story of Nariman Vakil's own life as well, his family dynamics. So it's a very complete sort of novel, a page turner. If you are not grossed out by, you know, descriptions of being sick and other such things, then you can definitely go for this. Another novel that I actually really loved reading, I also did an Instagram post on this. It is called Sunlight on a Broken Column by Atiya Hussain. This was published in 1961. So the book is set in Lucknow in the 1930s. So when India was like about to gain independence from the British rule. And at the center of the story is a young Muslim girl called Laila. She belongs to a very like traditional aristocratic household, but she herself has had like a modern education. Her way of looking at the world is quite modern. So we get to see how she's navigating between her own modern thoughts and her traditional upbringing and the traditional milieu that she's a part of. And as we follow her on this personal struggle, her personal dilemmas, we are also following India's journey from, you know, those last few years of British rule to after it gained independence, and the kind of communal struggles that surfaced and the kind of changing loyalties of people. So it's a very very beautiful coming together of the personal and the private. Other than that, also the book deals with lots of things, like, you know, we have intergenerational negotiations, we have class discussions, we have discussions about women, you know, as a community. So a lot is going on in the novel. It's a page turner, really. I didn't want to keep it down. Really enjoyed reading it. Now the last one is Raag Darbari by Srilal Shukla. Again, this is set in post-independent India, but this one is not set in a city like Lucknow, but it's set in a village called Shivpalganj, and this is a very holistic account of what an Indian village actually looked like after independence. What I mean by actually looked like is that, you know, our government definitely had a lot of aspirations for our villages as well once we gained independence. So lots of policies were formulated, but then, you know, Shukla in his novel shows how none of that actually translated into reality, and the reality of Indian villages was something else altogether. We have an image of the inherent corruption of Indian villages, the internal politics that's happening, and the kind of people that gain power in that sort of, you know, local politics and all those kinds of things. And the book makes the impact that it does is because of its use of irony and sarcasm. This is like a full-blown satire. So, you know, when I began reading the book, I was really enjoying it, and you know, it's full of moments where you will just chuckle, but then after a point it just gets repetitive and it gets to you that it's not ending. So that's pretty much the only drawback of the book. And if I didn't have the pressure of reading so many more texts, maybe I would have enjoyed it despite its length. So if you have time on your hands, this is a nice book, funny as well. So yeah, you can read that. If you like this video, please do not forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle will be mentioned right here on the screen, and the link to reach my profile is in the description box. So click that, reach my profile and follow me. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.